Hello, this is Mario. Welcome back. This is going to be my playthrough of Flower. I'm going to separate each level into its own part, just like I did with Flow. For those of you coming back, thank you for coming back. This game, I didn't play until much later, after the game had come out. Probably close to 2011. This game came out in February of 2009, I believe. I do believe I got it along with Flow, if not right after Flow, because I was so impressed with it. I had to find more. And again, I had always seen trailers of it, and it always seemed pretty cool, very pretty. Again, we're talking PS3 days here. This is basically the HD remaster for the PS4. Other than bump up the resolution, I don't think it does much more. But this was kind of a showpiece on the PS3. The amount of things that it renders on screen was always impressive. Now it's not too uncommon to see this level of grass detail in just general worlds. But even then, that's not quite as good looking as this. If we're just focusing on the ground anyway. But most games, you don't focus on the ground. But this game's all about what's on the ground. Doesn't have too much of a story per se. But there is some kind of progression here. Each flower has its own level. And then after each flower that you complete, you get a new flower. And I think there's 5 or 6 of them. Same as the last game. Instead of sea critters, we're flowers now. These flowers are depressed because they're in such a urban environment. And the game basically tries to personify them in the way that, they have their own dreams. And this is what we're seeing. The flowers dream. It's once again kind of basically the same controls as Flow, but now instead of 2 dimensions, it's full 3 dimensions. You are the wind in this case, and you're carrying, I believe, the flower that we're seeing here. You're carrying its like petal to where it wants to be. But let's go ahead and jump on in. You have to hold it. But I believe on the PS3 this game ran at like 720p 30 FPS. I'm not too sure about that, but I think that's what it was. Here, I think it does run at 1080p 60 FPS. Oh look, there's a little intro. See the busy city streets. Urban pollution. You've got this poor little flower trying to not die in that environment. Alright, just like before, you use the motion controls to kind of control the direction that you want to go in. Now if you want to go left, you tilt it to the left. If you want to go right, tilt it to the right. If you want to go forward, no, this is just up and down. Forward, I think you have to press any button. So I guess, yeah, like I was saying, you're the wind. You push the initial petal around, and the more flowers you go near, the more petals you start to build. And if you blossom certain areas, flowers, it'll start to show you more flowers. But again, the most impressive thing here was just the amount of grass blades that are on screen and moving cohesively. You know, they each look like and move like individual blades of grass. And so, I mean, you can follow the lit up flowers and then be done with the game. But, you know, if you want to see everything, you have to get everything on the sides too. Just think of the lit up ones as your main quest, and the ones that are not lit up just kind of like extra. Also, the music in this game is dynamic. So if you're not moving, it's a very simple tune with a very simple melody. As you start to uncover and move, you know, more instruments are introduced, more notes. And then what you're doing also affects the music. For example, every time I open up a flower, it adds a note. Some lonely flowers over here. So another thing is that game company really seemed to figure out how to code the software to make the DualShock 3's motion controls usable. You know, it was still a bit challenging in some cases, I'm not gonna lie. Your movements had to be a little bit exaggerated still. They've definitely fixed that with the PS4 and 5 controllers. So this is much more intuitive than it ever was on the PS3. So I can kind of just almost think where I want to go, and as long as I'm doing that with my hands, it kind of just does that. Oh, there you go. Ooh, I've unlocked some special flowers. And that's basically the whole game. This is basically the whole game. Just making flowers bloom. And basically, the more flowers you bloom, the more points you get, I guess. In this case, your points are all the petals that you're carrying with you. Let's see here. I feel like that side should have opened up something too, but missed that one. Missed another one here. And then once you... So you're also kind of like healing the land as well. The more petals the more flowers you bloom, the more you repair the earth. I didn't miss anything. I wonder why nothing opened up over here. Oh well. The PS3 version looked pretty sure almost identical, just slightly lower resolution, slightly lower frame rate, or half the frame rate, I should say. So obviously I don't think it moved this smoothly. Another spot healed. And so then you just kind of go throughout the level doing the same thing. It's definitely... This game is 100% about the visuals. In the sense that, you know, what you're doing here is to make things look prettier. The gameplay just facilitates that. But I think once I get all these edges healed up, it'll let me do the center. I think I could say that this game is actually simpler than Flow. But visually, it's a whole different game. Oops. Let's go. I remember there being an NVIDIA tech demo that showed grass like this. Obviously, I think that looked a little bit better still, but we're like talking early NVIDIA demos. But it was on a much smaller scale. You know, it was just a tech demo. This is very, very big scale. You know, how many blades of grass is this processing at any given time? If you stay still, you can see them all kind of swaying and moving individually. see them moving with the wind. Yeah, look at that. That can't be the whole level, can it? I don't remember it being that short. Haha. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if these scenes kind of took a little bit of inspiration from Okami. That's kind of what it reminds me of. I'll have to look up what the leaves mean. I do not remember. Hey, look, the flower's all happy now. Now it has a buddy. Oh, look. I can't tell. This is the same apartment, right? This just looks not as disheveled now. Look at that. And that's basically it. Flower is a visual masterpiece. And gameplay wise, you know, it's pretty unique. Not many games I feel like do this right. And somehow these guys have figured out how to do it right. But anyway, I guess these are going to be a lot shorter. The levels are probably going to get longer as they go on. But we'll see. Anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll see you again on the next one.